Hello again. So we're back. I haven't been recording a lot lately. I've been in an animating frenzy, as you could probably tell on my channel. What we gotta do right now is still no main quest. Still nothing. I don't know. Georgia would be thankful for any news at all, so we did all that. What's the third day main quest? What is up? So what do we do now? Do we just trade and mess around? Is everything alright with you, you little rapscallion? A neighbor of ours has been killed by patrolmen. I still can't wrap my head around it. That means they can make away with me just as easily. And with you, too. What did they kill him for? Well, they say he attacked someone too. He did have quite a temper, but they beat him to death with their mega fists. By the way, was it really an order to do that? For reals? How do we fight now? How do we defend our honor? You people should stay indoors to protect yourself from the epidemiological hazard, not go around fighting. What? Close your mouth or you'll eat a fly. What an asshole. Nothing really of use. I'm probably just gonna cut this all out. It's nothing much, not much to look at. Oh, a letter. Ruben's letter. We need to plan the battle in advance, the battle being the task that lies ahead of us. I will not give up without a fight, even if everyone else has come to terms with their own mortality. We need to join our forces, Bachelor, and combine our diverse skills. Our enemy is invisible, ubiquitous, dissolved into the very things that we will need to purify. The enemy seems invulnerable, but it is not imperceptible, and whatever terror it instills in us is explained simply by our lack of knowledge. If we are to destroy the enemy, we need to study it first. For this, we need to capture it. This is our first and foremost priority. Please forgive my reiteration of self-evident things like these. My only reason for spelling it all out is to better understand it myself. Our goals are not quite the same. I strive to save as many lives as possible, whereas your purpose is to put an end to the outbreak. I've been told of your abiding desire to uncover the truth. I would gladly help you with that, if you will help me achieve my goal. Together we can eradicate this disease and save everything that might still be saved. Stuck, Ruben. P.S. You will find me at my secret prospectorium in the warehouses district. The map is on the reverse of this letter. Nice. So we know what to do now. We go to Ruben. Do you want to ask me something? Yes. Have you tested our schmouters? I haven't. What? I remember us playing schmouters. We used to invent various recipes, taking various amounts of various medicines and mixing them. It was like a competition, whose recipe would turn out to be the most efficient. And well, some of them were. Any chance I could get my hands on them? Our boys shuffled through several old caches. Hopefully I haven't slipped my beau's mind, and he'll bring me one just in case. Let us hope there won't be a case. Yeah. Well, okay, got a bunch of food. I think that's good. Little girl, let's go. Maybe she has a schmouter. Please have a schmouter. A lockpick. Very cool, very cool.
The blessed fool is making the rounds of the local rabble.
Dear colleague, by some happy coincidence I managed to get my hands on a certain vessel that I believe I can recover the pathogen from, which means we are now all set to research the vaccine. But, odd as it may sound, I'd rather avoid tapping into that source I mentioned, unless I absolutely have to. I'd rather examine the samples that can be procured from a dead tissue. Where is Simon, colleague? I keep him at a nice cellar not far from here. Georgie is infuriated. Why didn't you inform him of where you took the body? Because I'm not done with it yet. Besides, I'm all alone here. The moment I had an opportunity to send a message outside, I used it to bring you here. Your presence is more important than other considerations right now. Would you kindly hear what my request is? What do you want to ask of me? I was going to ask you to bring a sample or two from one of the infected quarters, but doubly careful enough, and make sure to get the dissection fully cleared with one of the rulers, else the risk would be twice as high as needs be. I'd go myself, but there are reasons that make it impossible for me to leave Simon's body unattended. At some request, what is this additional danger you speak of? Dissection of dead bodies is something that the locals strongly disapprove of. For steppe people, the human body represents the world. Only a member of a special tagler, Burak, to name one, is allowed to open it up. This is a caste-based privilege, you see. Does everyone in the town share the same prejudice? No, of course not. But even those who are oblivious of the sacred meaning of the kin's rituals would still oppose unsanctioned dissection, because it's traditionally inappropriate, a cultural taboo, if you will. An autopsy performed by anyone other than a true-born Menku is seen as blasphemy of the worst kind. Even incest is not as repulsive to them. Which doesn't stop them from being comfortable with all manner of slaughter. These people are outlaws, and not a single one of them is a steppe man. So what am I supposed to do? Do pay a visit to Governor Saburov. I wouldn't go to Vlad if I were you. He's too resourceful, and too inclined to drag you into his schemes. The kinds are also out of the question, as anything that leads Georgie to me would likely result in Simon's body being removed. And I still have a lot of work to do. Sounds reasonable. I'll see you soon. The first step is appropriately idiotic. I need to inform the governor of my plans. He has to give me official permission to perform post-mortem autopsy on the victims of the disease. Does he have anything more to say?
I'd rather not go looking for another hideout.
Unfortunately, there are only 24 hours in a day. We don't have much time. The infected quarter is hell on earth. It's absolutely impossible to survive there. Do you have any antibiotics at all? Any kind of immune system and stimulants? None whatsoever. I don't have any medicine here. Truth be told, this is one of the reasons I would prefer not to enter the infected quarter myself. Oh, that's unfortunate. Rumor has it that the Olgimskis have organized the distribution of medicine among a few of the more important townspeople. I had to stay here in hiding, so I did not get any of that. But some of the people you've come to know here will be only happy to help. Good thinking. I'll follow your advice.
I'd rather not go looking for another hideout.
You are still not being entirely sincere with me, colleague. Tell me about Simon. Well, the initial diagnosis was supported. There's no doubt Simon has died to the plague. And yet you're still studying the body. Why? I want to see what the disease can do to human internal organs. I need more time for that. I didn't even perform an autopsy yet. And I thought you wanted to see if Simon had the same anatomy as a regular human being. You see through me, Bachelor. This is indeed my purpose, and this is the reason why I cannot give back the body. I hope you won't tell the kinds where I am. I won't. I'd be interested to know what the autopsy will reveal. Yeah, interesting. Interesting. So Ruben has taken away Simon's body for testing. He's been kind of desecrating the body, which probably wouldn't be, too easy of news, too kinds. I don't know if that sentence made sense. But either way, we're going to Sabrov. We haven't spoken to this NPC yet, should we? I'm sick, I'm in agony. My head seems to be filled with lead. My insides burn. Could you please donate a couple coins for me to cure myself and my family? I'll repay you. I'll spread the word of your untold magnanimity. Magnanimity. You should have a rest. You're exhausted. The air here is detrimental to your health. Yes, that's just how this place is. Every breath threatens death. It's like walking through crossfire, or a simple fire. But what can you do? We have to... You have to? Would you be so kind as to explain to me what emergency is forcing you outside? We're looking for food. We're hungry. We need to check on our relatives, to see how they're doing. Secondly, staying in is even more terrifying. It feels safer outside. What if that thing engulfs the house like it did 5 years ago? It ended to just appear inside the room back then, by itself. Nonsense. Things do not appear by themselves. I wonder if Katerina has anything to say. Oh! Hello?
Why are you giving me that look? I don't bite.
I shall see to it that the people of Gobos Taglor, who will of necessity have to surrender their lives to me, will not have given them in vain. The new generation will not include mortal enemies. The new world will be built on universal love and concord. Damn, so that's how you talk now? Doesn't sound like your own words, though.
My hands are tired and my palms are tingling.
Are you intending to build a new world? Yes. We'll exterminate all those who try to play the antagonism of day and night, or of reason and the earth, to their own advantage. We'll exterminate those who've made the Olgimskian clans the banners of this war. We'll exterminate those who've used the powers of the dream mistresses and the will of the heads of houses to fan the flames of this meaningless strife. Are you all right, girl? Feeling sick, maybe? Someone's going to have to cleanse away the filth. The party of the humble will lay itself upon the altar of the common good, and people will hate us, instead of mourning our sacrifice. Only those we take with us will grow to love us. This is what it will be. Thus say I, and the mistress heeds my words. So how are you going to cleanse away the filth? They'll exterminate themselves. Everyone is at risk now, and death will more than once raise its scythe over many, and these days death is bound to raise its scythe above every link of the Tagler. But since we foresee those moments, we'll mercifully save many from this terrible reaping. Hang on, has Governor Saburov heard this diatribe yet?
What is this disease?
You are a lucky person, Bachelor Dankovsky, while I'm most certainly not. Can I help you? Any updates on what's in store for me today? None. My visions were very different today. No Bachelor there. But you don't trust my dreams anyway. I do. What did you see? There is one more outsider competing with you. Like you, he's trying to wriggle his way inside the dead. He will be interfered with and most likely killed. He'd do better than you, but I doubt that would bring us relief. He may very well destroy your purpose, the sole thing you were born for. Who is this person? Young Burak. Is their son's now looking for an answer to his father's riddle. Searching inside the dead is a viable attempt, but the path he's taken is perilous. Perilous? Perilous? Yeah. He will inevitably make a mistake, Both mistresses would have concurred. Why is this path perilous? A body is a riddle. Only a butcher knows how to disjoint the wholeness of a bull carcass. There are but a few people in the kin who can dissect a man. The wardens, whose families have been keeping this rite for many generations. Isidore Borak was one of them. His knives pierced many a body, and always with great success. I don't need an autopsy, I only need to extract a blood sample. Still, dissecting the dead is taboo. It's not a rule, but rather a custom with its meaning long forgotten. Some people in Earth still preserve the memory of the terrible nature of this knowledge. Unluckily for you, the majority of the patrol guard volunteers are steppe people. You mean the patrol wouldn't just be passive, but would rather actively try to murder me for doing our common job? In that case, how are they helpful at all? Who can I rely on? The few people whose fates are now bound to yours will always be there to help you. Your fame is getting greater and greater by the day. They'll be eager to give you anything you might need and offer their advice. But they wouldn't help me work with the dead tissue. So examine the dead bodies at your own risk. If you're spotted, just do your best and flee the scene before you're attacked. Find the clothes that would hide your Find the clothes that would hide your identity. Although I'm in no position to give such advice, I haven't been outside for a long time. I'm all about what's inside. Who could have thought that being a humanitarian could put my life at risk, huh? Oh, she gave me a drape.
My stomach hurts as if it was filled with straw.
The end is nigh. Only a miracle can save us. We have to hope for my girl. There's no other choice. The end is nigh? Why? 3 ends, actually. It can end in 3 different ways. The town has been teetering on the verge for far too long, balancing on the edge. Like a ball trying to choose one of the 3 pockets. If it doesn't fall into one of them soon, the edge will rip it apart. The body will rot with the bloody mold, and plague will devour this land. What do you mean? Simon's woven equal shares of love and hate into this town. His genius kept the feelings of those who adhered to the 3 different principles in check. He knew how to derive benefit from their contrariety. Now discord has become meaningless. Like the town itself, the 3-pointed taggler is frozen in a deadly stalemate. The town's fall... Excuse me. The town's fall is inevitable. What? Simon has built a puzzle. Everybody debound were generally utopians or termites, but I insist that he's built the town as a triangle, and so I declare loyalty to the 3rd idea, the faith of humility. I am their mistress. There's neither heat nor cold anymore. There is only earth. Why the big words? Or have I accidentally just overheard something not intended for my ears at all? I suggest you make up your mind. Simon's death untied the connections. People got loose like the stitches of a poorly knitted sweater. You know of the 3 wills and the 3 ideas they adhere to. Someone will have to die, while another will live. Or will it be others? I suspect you will have a say in the matter, Bachelor Dankovsky. What is to be will be. Please be so kind as to notice. There stands a girl. Her name is Clara, and it's within her hands to tie or untie her fate. It's fine if you don't want to help. She will make sure that the new balance that arises is proper. How? This blessed girl has the power to decide who lives and who dies. She has the right. My spouse and I trust her. She is the emissary of fate, A guardian angel, not a harbinger like I used to think, but rather a miracle maker. Wait a minute, so what am I supposed to do? Keep in mind the three outcomes, please. The town is overburdened. It's filled with too many unnecessary things. So reconfigure the fates. Our future path will be decided by the new list of the bound, as shall the future outlook of our miserable little world. Speak to the dazzling Maria about this, if you will. I will. You're scaring me.
And
It's so cold.
Wow, that was a lofty conversation. I got a drape out of it. At least.
Yes.
We are doing worse than ever. The infection is spreading. I need to work with dead bodies. I was told that this work demands your sanction. Is that true? I regret to say that no one can help you here. Local superstition prohibits any violation of a body's integrity. Add a cult of the dead on top. If they see you dissecting a corpse, they might tear you to pieces. It has already happened once. It's essential for my work. I understand, but there's nothing I can do. Let us pretend this conversation never happened. You might want to turn to your new acquaintances. As far as I can judge, they are ready to do anything you ask. I'll do that then. I sure hope the infected districts have already reconsidered this reactionary, prejudiced stance. This difficulty could be resolved by some rather sinister people. I am talking about butchers. Butchers, rather obviously, have no qualms about cutting bodies. Tradition gives them a hereditary right to perform this sacred act. I've yet to see a single butcher in this town. Of course, Olgimsky had them locked up after another of their strikes. However, it is said that on the eve of the blockade, a group of butchers did not make it back to the termitory on time. Someone is hiding them. There's a house here on Earth whose dwellers know who it is. Take a chance. Thank you. Excellent advice. Yeah, we kept the butcher alive. This house has long become the secret shelter for the Bull Project workers that have angered Vlad the Heavy somehow. Runaway butchers go there too.
Is there really no way to cure the disease?
Okay, we're doing worse than ever. The infection is spreading. What makes you say that? The disease is spreading quickly. The neighboring district is almost entirely steeped in infection by now. And even though the powers that be have informed me that the help is on the way, I doubt that they're aware of the rate of the spread. But let's not lose hope. What are you working on now? I intend to start studying the pathologic culture now, which is why I'd like to ask for your help. What kind of help can I offer you? I need equipment. I found out by chance that Isidore's laboratory was ransacked during the recent riots. I'd be grateful if you found the perpetrators and confiscated what they had looted. Yes, I've heard that. They are already being investigated. However, I would not call Brock's dwelling a laboratory. It was more of a workshop. There weren't many valuables there. Still, I will let you know when the stolen items are recovered. Thank you.
I've got a firm hand.
Your wife says the strangest things. Do you think so? And have you met Clara yet, Bachelor? Yes, just had the pleasure. Isn't the girl a bit of a megalomaniac? Clara really does possess unusual abilities. It's true that she can inspire love and trust at first sight. It is also true that her touch is imbued with a remarkable energy, a healing power. However, the nature of that power remains a mystery to me. What's your own opinion of her? I have long been paying special attention to that girl, but, I repeat, I still know nothing about her despite having talked to her throughout the last few days, and I cannot explain the facts that I have witnessed. It would be interesting to hear your opinion. It's curious. Somehow I knew you would want me to run into her at some point. I just wanted to find out how well you know her. I don't know her at all. Hello.
Shabnakadir is tracing the streets like bacteria in a vein.
Please touch me. Do I have a fever? You are concealing runaway butchers in this very house, Aspity. Well, crucify me. What's this about? Running more errands for the Olgimskis? No, this time I've come on my own accord. I need your help. Well, I gotta hear that. Why on earth would the wise serpent seek anyone's help? I need the tissue of a sand plague victim. You can only find dead victims in the infected houses. Since you appear to be alive, you have never entered a single one of them. You will have 5 to 10 minutes if you do. Then the infection strikes, with the expected results. Perhaps you could find a single runaway that would agree to help. What would he want in return? Perhaps I could find a lot of runaways that would agree to help if only I asked them to. And the same me will ask you for a favor then. Will you do me one? I will. Go ahead and speak. You're influential with Olgimsky. Use that influence. Tell him to stop persecuting the runaways. It's no longer a revenge situation, but he's still all too eager. Takes the guy quite some time to calm down, huh? Anyway, if he swears to leave alone the butchers that are now outside the dormitory, I'll talk 3 runaways into risking their lives. It's not like they have anything to lose anyway. I'll try. Aspity is willing to sacrifice 3 butchers, provided that boss Olgimsky grants pardon to the rest of them.
Is it really that deadly?
Do you know any...
Yes, it is.
Okay, yes, I know. Do you know anything about how the disease is transmitted? I know everything. Everything in the world? The infection goes straight to the head. It talks to you a bit with its little inner voice, and then it moves in completely. For a while. The tenant is rather troublesome, and the body makes for a lousy lodging. It breaks apart all too easily, and so the disease leaves it and moves along to find someone else. Poetry aside, sounds plausible. Who said anything about poetry? You're missing the point. It doesn't touch the next person as long as it's comfortable with the current one. Who told you that? Internal relations, Bachelor. You wouldn't understand. I can visualize this crazy gallop. If you manage to distract it and make it shift its attention to others, you'll live. When the sandpest starts talking to you, pretend to be someone else, and you'll trick it. I'll keep this in mind. Okay. Definitely a reasonable thing to say. Certainly. Oh, Vlad.
Hard. It's hard.
The Skinners. Yes, that was one nasty day, wouldn't you agree? I need a detailed report on the amount of pharmaceutical drugs we have. I'm happy to relieve your mind, Doctor. We're distributing protective and preventative drugs daily among the townsfolk, even the antibiotics. We've selected the drug agents from the list you gave us yesterday. Are you satisfied? Actually, I was planning to be the first to have access to the confiscated drugs. You were not there, and now I'm forced, by your hand, if I may add, to report to Governor Saburov. I had no time to hesitate, Bachelor. I'm sorry. The drugs have been confiscated and sealed up. It's a result, too. Well, I am glad you've finally given me the credit I deserve. The Kinds have also given out everything they had, though they had less than me, and it's easier to give out things when you're poor as a church mouse. I am grateful to you, Boss Vlad.
Who could have thought? So an outbreak is upon us?
You're in charge of the hospital now, aren't you? We're already busy starting it. Do you want to know more? Is that the only reason why you came? No, as far as I understand, you are the person that keeps the native population in check, and that is why I need you. Most of your workers are from the steppe, aren't they? Let me put it this way. I have a certain influence on them, yet the only thing in charge of the kin is the kin itself. Keeping it in check is no easier than managing a community of silkworms or termites. The foreman of the abattoir knows how to do it, to a certain extent. But why do you ask? I need to work with dead bodies. Since I still haven't been provided a place to keep my research uninterrupted, I need to find out a way to deal with this tissue. The dead bodies are already being worked with. The person who's doing it will be eager to share the results with you. Look for him in the disease hotbeds. Most likely he has already gone there. Who is it, and how do I recognize him? He stands out from the crowd, my friend. You will know him at once. He is quiet, unlike the others, and has a steppe phenotype. There's a deep wrinkle on his forehead. He'll wear protective garments. I bet they'll be stained with blood. Right, I guess it won't be too hard to find a person with such obvious features.
What?
I'd like to offer you a bargain. It has to do with your fugitives. Oh, come now. To my mind, there's nothing to discuss here. However, a good bargain always catches my attention. So? Can you donate your runaways to me? I can guarantee that they'll die in the end. Aren't you a humanitarian, my dear doctor? The thing is, I don't need them to die. I need them to return to the bosom of the Bull Project, punished, but unscathed. Perfect. I'll do my best to return them safe then. What's in it for you? I have my own job to do, and I need these people. As for now, sadly, I cannot disclose to you as to why. And what would you be willing to offer? I'm ready to hear your offer. Let me see. I know what I'm going to ask. As payment for my butchers, it's the unique resource you own, the one I'll never get my hands on. What is it? Your influence with the kinds. I'll cease to pursue the butchers if Georgie ceases to pursue young Burak. He isn't guilty. He has an airtight alibi against all charges, which I am willing to confirm. Let them leave him alone. Agreed? If you're vouching for him, I'll inform the kinds as soon as I have the chance. Indeed, indeed. And I'd rather you convinced Reuben that young Burak has nothing to do with Isidore's tragic death. The thick-headed Reuben is the last one who still needs convincing anyway. The boy might be labeled a patricide, as if he hasn't had enough. You do see Reuben from time to time, I know that. This request does you credit. I was certain you would ask for yourself. I haven't finished yet. Apart from that, I wish they stopped torturing me about the termitory. I'm tired of repeating that it's clean. That is why it was closed in the first place. You know what? You've just suggested an excellent idea to me. How about this? You stop the persecution, and I'll kindly spare the kinds my opinion on what's inside the termitory. For goodness sake. If you put it like this, yes, certainly, certainly. I was going to... as well. It's no matter now. Now that the Skinners is infected, just like the crude sprawl before it, you have my word as a merchant. The thing is, I know you as a man of honor. Damn it. I'm glad we have an agreement, boss Vlad. The word of a merchant provides reliable assurance. No, we haven't read this yet. If I am to eradicate the enemy, I must study its habits and capture it. This will be no mean feat. As is customary, we will need to perform an autopsy on someone who has already succumbed to the sand plague in order to procure a specimen of infected tissue. First and foremost, I need to secure Sabarov's consent, lest any of the usual complications linked to working with dead bodies should arise. If I can reach an agreement with the concealers, then the runaway butchers might help provide dead bodies for my autopsies. I have heard rumor of a house there, somewhere in Earth, where the criminal workers of the abattoir go into hiding. They have no great regard for human life, it seems. 3 lives were given in exchange for Elgimski's promise to cease the persecution of the runaway tradesmen. Elgimski has become strangely pliable. Apparently he is mostly troubled by the termitory. It has become a kind of Achilles heel to him. It is interesting to know that he has asked me to solicit for young Burak as he stands accused before the Kynes. Could it be that something is wrong here? So I should probably go to Georgie, right? Well, let's do that next episode. See you guys later. Bye.